experience towards college thus far? Procrastination. And I'm sure many of you relate to this. I mean, I know that after Ms. Trunch always asks us how we think our speech went, many people respond with, I wish I had prepared more, or I should have spent more time preparing our speech. And I'm no better. I procrastinated a speech about procrastination. Procrastination is suffered worldwide, and there is a scientific explanation for why we as a species have a tendency to procrastinate. Today I'll introduce to you the subject of procrastination and the current effect it has on our population, the neuroscience behind it, as well as offer insight about how to prevent it. So like I said, we are not alone in procrastination. Pierre Steele has done a lot of research when it comes to the effect procrastination has on the population. He went to many colleges in the Midwest and found that 95% of college students engage in procrastination weekly. He also found that the amount of population with chronic procrastination has multiplied by more than 500% in the last 30 years. He argues that it's because of our modern environment that we see such high numbers, that we are not a species that is designed to have technology or distractions readily at our fingertips. John Colligan has also done a lot of research when it comes to professors, so it's not just college students. He found that out of 402 professors from several universities in South London, 85% of them engaged in procrastination, 75 call themselves procrastinators, and 50% do it consistently and problematically. So these high numbers obviously contribute to the fact that we almost consider it a norm. We plan in time knowing that we are going to procrastinate. So why is it that the little voice in our head telling us to watch another episode of Friends or play Angry Birds overpowers the clearly more rational part of our mind saying you should start your 8-minute long speech? Well, it turns out there is a scientific explanation. There is a real argument going on inside our head. It's between the prefrontal cortex and the limbic system. The prefrontal cortex is the newer and weaker portion of the brain. It is in charge of the decision-making, specifically about the future, and it is not necessarily always turned on. It also distinguishes us from animals that only respond to stimuli. Then there's the limbic system. It is the more dominant and primitive portion of the brain. It is about the here and the now, the immediate mood repair, what feels good at this moment. It also is in charge of fight or flight responses. So when you remove a hand from like a hot pan, it's the limbic system taking over. You no longer hear the voice in the back of your head saying that you should do your homework or that you have other obligations. Christy Ostwaden describes our brain as a house with 2 floors, each with a different set of residents. The bottom floor is a couple that lives in the moment, the here and now, and they are in charge of things like the temperature of the house. So if it's hot outside, they'll naturally turn it cooler indoors. There's also the older couple on the top floor, and they're in charge of things like keeping the house clean, for guests if they were to later arrive, or to pay things like the mortgage bill. So why is it that the limbic system ends up winning over the prefrontal cortex? Well, it has to do with fight or flight responses. That, in the case of procrastination, we are actually responding to a subtle anxiety or fear. And in many cases, it's the fear of unpleasantness of doing the task, as well as fear of failure, as in we rather fail because of lack of effort rather than lack of intelligence. So during fight or flight reflexes, the limbic system takes complete control, and the prefrontal cortex is more or less muted. But there is a lot that can be done, and it has to do with a process called metacognition, which essentially is thinking about thinking. It's being aware of the process that is going inside your head. We need to know that the primitive part of our brain is taking control during procrastination, and that we need to access the more rational decision-maker portion. So we do this by playing to the prefrontal cortex's abilities, which is to plan the future, doing things like creating goals, breaking tasks into smaller tasks, into step-by-step processes, creating a ladder formation or a staircase formation instead of a big jump. It makes it less overwhelming to begin with, and therefore we have a more likely chance to start the task at hand. Then we also need to plan for time. What needs to get done in exactly what time frame? Know what time of day you work best. Are you better in the morning, or are you more productive at night? And then according to that, make routines around those schedules. If it is something that we do weekly and it's more of a have to do rather than I probably should do, there's less of a chance that procrastination will come into play. Scholars such as Francisco Salles from the Brown University also emphasizes that it's not only about the quantity of time but the quality and the amount of energy that you put into that time frame. That a half an hour full of 100% is the same as an hour that's full of 50% effort. Also, plan your resources. Make sure you don't have any excuses to leave. Don't have your charger with you, have your water, have your phone, have everything that you could possibly need, so you don't get up to leave and could possibly run into distractions. Also, try to eliminate the distractions beforehand. Use metacognition and figure out exactly what it is that distracts you. Is it the people around you? Is it noise? Is it your phone? Is it the internet? And try to eliminate them to the best of your abilities beforehand. Also, think about your location. Are you more of a 5th floor library person or a 2nd floor library person? Jonathan Nichols also recommends that changing locations is also vital to do academic success and avoid procrastination. Every time you take a break, you should get up, move, change locations, and start all over with focusing on. Also, visualizing the process has a big role in limiting procrastination. If you trick your brain into thinking that it's already done it before or that it's very possible to do, you are way more likely to start the task at hand. Also, plan for failure. It's very common and has been found that we often stop studying when we get to the most difficult portion of the task at hand. And this is essentially detrimental because it's so much harder to restart again when you have such an overwhelming task to begin with. So, procrastination has a huge effect in our lives. It has become a norm, something that we expect that would happen because there's so many of us that do it. But it is vital that we start incorporating these processes into our life because they do have extreme effects. Ji-Won studied procrastination and its effect on academic performance in an online class. So he was able to see the amount of work they did over what period of time. And the people that did more work towards the end had way less academic success. It also has a tendency to affect many other portions of our life, especially things like our health. Stephen Stewart found a direct linear correlation between the amount of procrastination and our anxiety levels. So I know that finding motivation is an incredibly difficult task at times, especially when you're halfway through a winter quarter and you only have finals to look forward to. But using self-drive and determination is absolutely vital for success, not only academically, but just in our day-to-day decision-making. Pierre Steele, at the end of all of his research, concluded that we need to follow this. This is a German proverb that means whatever can be completed today should never be postponed until tomorrow. It is something that he wants us all to integrate into our lives and that it can make a vast difference in the way in our academic performance as well as overall success in our life. And although neuroscience proves that we are at a disadvantage when it comes to procrastination, there is a stronger limbic system than we have in the frontal cortex. And we have a tendency to respond to fear in this way. Forget everything and run. And this, as you can see, would be detrimental when it comes to academics and overall just being able to do the task at hand. But I encourage you, and I encourage you to know that we do have a choice. And that although the limbic system is stronger, that doesn't mean our prefrontal cortex can't take into play, and we need to learn to face everything